Greetings, gamers! This is D-Vang. Welcome back to another episode of the Apple Turnover Gang. Episode 20, this is Town. So last episode, we had completed the final mission in the Black Fang Tribe mission pack. We faced the War Shaman, so we got to kind of see some of the war chants, which actually were kind of nasty. We probably would have had a little bit more difficult time with the War Shaman. Simply put, the lasso helped a lot to keep him immobile, so he couldn't get to us with his extra melee hits and cause some damage there. But we did go through that mission pack and see what the Black Fang Tribe was all about. Kind of nasty with that endurance of 2. So can't do more than, each hit can't do more than 2 wounds. We were able, through the course of the adventure, to level up and also get enough money to get Doc, his tools of science and the feathered hatchet to really up his number of attacks, which I think helped out tremendously, even if they are melee attacks. So that is all that. What else can I say? We do need to finish off from the final episode. We did not get the final loot, and we did not get the rewards for completing the adventure. So let's see what we get as far as final loot. We'll kind of get right into it. So Bechamel gets a D6 times 50. Alright, so she gets $200 there. And we have Doc gets a gear card. And Pete gets a measly 25. It's kind of unfortunate, but hey, we are slowly building up our money again to start looking either at getting Pete equipped with some more stuff, or Bechamel. I don't know. We haven't really decided. It also could be good. Doc has armor now because he has the Serpent Skull helmet. So, and I don't know that I was rolling for his armor. It's been so long since we had any armor. So I don't know if I rolled for his armor last episode. Regardless. We did survive, and so that was that. So we've gotten our loot. What were the rewards for Mission 4, the Vengeful Spirit? The rewards are 50 experience each and a D6 Darkstone for each hero. So we're going to actually be coming out with a lot of Darkstone. So Bechamel, she gets 1. So because we do need to be careful now that we're going to get more corruption. Doc picks up 3. Alright, and then Pete picks up 5. Wow. So, that is going to be a lot. We have a lot in our bag. If you recall, we had trouble with the blacksmith last episode, and the town kind of being cursed. So, not much we can do about that. So I'm going to split up. We got a bunch of extra Darkstone. So I'm going to give 2 extra Darkstone. So we have a full 8 in the tomb chest. We give 2 to Bechamel. We're going to have 3 for Doc because he's got the good willpower. I only got 3 for Pete since he has the armor, essentially the coat, the tattered duster that lets him ignore corruption points potentially. So we do need to roll now to see if we get corruption. So Bechamel has 2 dice for her 2 Darkstone. She has 1 more for her breaching gun, which has the upgrade on it. Does she have anything else? She does not have anything else. So here is 3 dice. She gets 2 corruption hits. So she has to make 2 saves. Willpower 4 plus. She saves them both. So she does not take any points of corruption. So Doc has 3. So there's 3 dice. He gets 2 for the Tools of Science, having the grip. He gets 1 for the Feathered Hatchet, getting the extra reroll. What else does he have that has... Does he have anything that has an extra... It does not look like he's carrying anything else that has an extra icon. So, that is 6 dice. Okay, so it looks like he takes 2. He has a 3+ willpower save. He saves both of them, so he doesn't take any. So that's something. Alright. We've got 3 for Pete. Pete has... What does he have? He has 1 for the Void Catcher. And he has 1 for the Mark of the Void. I don't believe he has anything else. Oh, and 1 for the Fallen Gunfighter's Pistol. He has not added anything to the Tridar Intense Pistol. That does have 1 slot to equip. So, alright, looks like he takes 2. Willpower, 4 and a 5, so willpower save. So we actually didn't, even with all that, we didn't take any corruption. So good. So we have lots of Darkstone to sell in town. We also have a pickaxe that we picked up, which we can sell at the very least. I don't think we picked up... Oh, you know, I forgot to draw Doc's gear card. I gave us the money and not the gear card. So let's see what we get. We find a telescope. +1 cunning. And when traveling to town, he can cancel and reroll 1 result on the travel hazard chart. You know, let's give that to Bechamel. Bechamel could use additional cunning for her gambling. The question is how much can she carry? She has a strength of 2, so she can do 5 + 2 is 7. She has the breaching gun, which is 1. She still has her old pistol, which is 2. She has the Badlands Adventure Gear, which is 2 more, so that is 4. She has the Jack of Hearts, which is 5. Alright, so this will make 6. So she's really close. But the +1 cunning will be happy. Will be nice. And obviously luck would be better, but I think we're good with that. And that gives her a 5 cunning. And it also gives us a second person, to do something with a travel hazard. And that is pretty good timing there. Speaking of travel hazards, all right, we are going to a large town again. And I'm not sure exactly what I want to buy, if anything, so I may not buy too much. I don't necessarily have anything planned. I may want to just save up for one more big purchase, although we do have a fair amount of money as it is. So let us see. We've got 1 travel hazard for each person, automatically going to a large town. So let's see if we have an additional one. So Bechamel, does she get an additional one? She does not. Doc does not. And Pete does. So we have 1 additional travel hazard because of Pete. Alright, red die is going to go first. Rolling on the chart. So the first travel hazard is a 23. This is Bechamel's. And the 23 is Living Hills. Something's not right here. There we go. The hills surrounding the valley you are in seem to be shifting and stirring before your eyes. The road before you opens up to reveal a massive demonic maw waiting to devour you whole. Each hero must make an agility 5+ test to avoid the maw. If passed, gain 15 experience and you escape. If you fail, you leap aside at the last moment. Any transport you're riding is devoured by the beast and you lose 1 sanity permanently at the horrific sight of the creature. So it's a -1 permanent sanity. We don't have any transport at this time, which is something we could buy with our money, is pick up a coach. Is that worth canceling and getting rid of? Actually, everybody has a decent agility. And Bechamel can conceivably help with that. So I think we're actually good. Let's go ahead and take it. I think everybody can make an agility 5+ test. There. So we'll start with Bechamel. She's got an agility of 3. She makes it. Doc has an agility of, double check, I believe it's still 3. Yep. He succeeds. Alright, and then Pete has an agility of 2, plus 1 for the eagle feather is 3. And he makes it. So good. Alright, so everybody gets 15 experience points for that. And they all escaped. So that was the first one. Phew. Alright. Let's see what happens with Doc. Doc is a 53. Alright, which is circling vultures. Seeing the black vultures circling overhead reminds you that there's no safe haven in this forsaken place. All will come to ruin in time, and the vultures will have their feast in the end. Every hero must make a Spirit 5+ test. If pass, gain 10 experience and heal D3 sanity. If failed, take D3 sanity damage, ignoring willpower that carries over to the next adventure. We have horrible Spirit tests. We've got like 1 dice other than Doc. But, I mean, the downside is D3 sanity damage that carries over to the next adventure. And potentially, if we get the right buildings, we could heal in town. I think I'll take that. There's no point in trying to ignore that, I don't think. So, let's go. Even though we do have 2 cancels, I think that will be pretty minor. So, Bechamel has 1 die. Again, that was a 5+ test. She makes it. Doc has a Spirit of 2, 3, 4, 5+. He gets a 5 there, and he makes it. And then Pete, let me just double check. He does have Spirit Armor, but he does not have anything else that gives a bonus to Spirit. So he gets a roll. It does say take D3 sanity damage ignoring willpower. Does not say anything about Spirit Armor. Doesn't matter. He makes it as well. Wow. Alright. That was pretty impressive. We're all just, I guess they're all just pumped after their successful mission in the mines. Alright, but that was Doc. So now we have 2 more, which are Pete's events. We have a 56, which is a Void Hound attack. A pack of vicious Void Hounds have been tracking your posse for days and have found the opportunity to strike. Each hero must make a Cunning 5+ test to outwit the hounds, or a Strength 5+ test to overpower them if pass gain 25. If you fail, you are pulled from your saddle and ravaged by the creatures. Roll a d6 for every clothing item you have. On a roll of 1 or 2, it is torn apart and destroyed by the savage attack. Well, we are actually, 2 of our characters are really good at Cunning, and Pete is really good at Strength. So I don't think we need to cancel that. So let's go ahead and do that. So we are a cunning 6 for Bechamel. And she succeeds. We are a cunning 6 for Doc. And he succeeds. And we are a strength 6. Isn't that right? No, I think he actually has a 5 strength. So, right. So, and he passes. So we are good. A little bit extra a little bit of extra experience there. All right, and our last travel hazard. We have a 54, excuse me, which is, focus. An army convoy traveling the roads. The heroes come upon a massive U.S. Army convoy heading towards the same town to reinforce the outpost there. When the heroes reach town, any rolls on the campsite hazard chart or the town event chart are +1 to the roll. So, town events are +1. Nice. That was very nice. Cool. So, we reached town. What does that mean? Well, what kind of town do we have? So we will roll on the specialty town chart, and we get a 7, which is standard frontier town. So nothing special, no special town here. And now we need to construct the town. So what kind of buildings do we have in this town? We have a saloon, always a popular choice for bechamel especially. We have a blacksmith, necessary, almost never comes as one of the first ones, and it either doesn't show up or it's one of the last ones, always making us worry. We have a street market. We have a gambling hall. We have a smuggler's den. We have an Indian trading post. We have a sheriff's office. And last but not least, we have a mutant quarter. Alright, now we do have a point of corruption on bechamel and a point of corruption on Pete to get rid of, hopefully. So those are certainly some things we want to try to do. We need to sell a bunch of this dark stone. So speaking of selling, we are selling the pickaxe for 300. That's done there. Don't think we have anything else that we particularly want to sell. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good on everything else. Everything else is useful. So let's kind of review our options. So the saloon's always good to pick up some extra money. Do we need... We don't really need any more whiskey. Although having one more whiskey, I think Bechamel's going to go to the saloon anyway, so she can pick up at least 1 or 2 things of whiskey to help even things out. I think that's all we need to worry about that. So let's go ahead and have Bechamel just get the saloon over with for that first one. We definitely want to go to the blacksmith to get some dark stone bullets. The question is there anything else that we want to do or get at the blacksmith? The blacksmith does have the stagecoach, which we could buy for 3,200, which may be a well worth the transport option. Carries up to 6 heroes. When your posse travels, each hero gets 15 experience. Also, once per travel, you can cancel a result on the traveling hazard chart just rolled before resolving effects. Now, in a normal posse, that would be good. Part of the fun, obviously, for the town episodes, is just kind of seeing what the travel hazards are. So at this point, we've got 2 that straight up one that can straight up. If I take the stagecoach, let me just put it this way. We got 1 straight up cancel. We've got Pete's ability, which lets him cancel by spending. He spends a grit, and in the rolls a 3+ or better, he gets to cancel. And then we've got the telescope, which lets us cancel and re-roll. So it doesn't actually get rid of a travel hazard, but it lets us cancel 1 and re-roll. That's a lot of of travel hazards we're kind of ducking. Is that something that we want to do? I don't know. Or do we get like... I'm not a big fan of things like the fast horse and the cavalry horse. Getting the stat bonuses while we're traveling. Those aren't necessarily as interesting. So the Mustang's a nice one, though, for getting +1 grit for traveling and the travel hazards. So that is something to keep in mind. That is 1,200, so times 3 would be 3,600, which is a little bit more than the Stagecoach. And that might be the option I take rather than trying to take away more travel hazard from you guys. What else can we do there at the blacksmith? Pete, now, so Pete, the Tridarian Trench Pistol does have a slot. So we could give the Tridarian Trench Pistol a reroll. We could also give it a Void Assembly. Actually, since we have a lot of Darkstone, we actually could afford the 15 Darkstone for a Void Assembly to add a peril die of damage to 1 hit with the Tridarian Trench Pistol. That is a tempting option. What else might be? Also, in fact, how much do we have? We have 8 and 10, and then we've got... I should definitely check and see how much Darkstone we've got. We've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We have 16 Darkstone. So if you got the Void Assembly, he would not be able to pick up the Darkstone bullets. We don't have the 20 Darkstone necessary for the Rune of Regeneration, which could be useful as well. Just heal 1 wound. Somebody can just heal 1 wound. And we do have some items, some clothing items that can take some extra upgrades. What else? I mean, we could, Pete actually, because he can carry a lot with his strength, he could get some Void Plate, which is 12 Darkstone, gives him a 4+ armor. Does reduce his agility by 1. His agility is not particularly great right now. It is a 3, so he would go down to 2 agility. But a 4+ armor is not bad. But that is about all you can get at the blacksmith. So let's wait for that. The street market. What can we do? Is there anything worthwhile doing at the street market? The bathhouse. Is there anything worth picking up? There's some hats. Bechamel can't really carry anything. There is... Let's see, there's an ornate pistol. Yeah, that's not really all that great. They've got some horses, like a mutant horse, or a wild horse, or a swamp slug, or Tridarian stallion, which would let us use a grit to personally ignore the effects of a travel hazard. And then there's some other things. Ornate cases are always nice to put 1 item into the case to prevent it from causing the potential corruption hits at the end. I'm not as interested in that, though. Again, it's just too much. I just don't know really what we want to do at this point. Let's see, the gambling hall, I think, is the place where we can go to sell. Yeah, we can sell the Darkstone. And I think that's the only place we can sell the Darkstone. So somebody's going to have to go to the... Unless we spend it at the blacksmith, somebody's going to need to go to the gambling hall. I don't think there's anything else that we want to buy. What else can we do? I mean, there's the gambler's gun, which she can add a d6 minus 3 damage once per turn. So it's basically 2d6 minus 3 instead of a d6 for a single gun. She could get 2 of them. And they do have 2 slots each, so she could upgrade both of them. We get both of them upgraded, so they're now range 7, 3 shots each, and once per turn she can do 2d6 minus 3 to a single hit. That actually could be useful. Is that better than, say, picking up something else? There is a Darkstone poker chip, though, which is +1 luck. Anytime she gains gold while gambling, she gets an extra 50. It would be nice to get her luck up to 6. That said, that would cap her out on weight. Alright, what else do we got? We have the Smuggler's Den. And we've got the Indian Trading Post. Oh, the choices, right? Let me review these. I don't know if you guys really care about me talking about them, going over them. I mean, there are the black market goods at the Smuggler's Den, but we don't have anybody who's an outlaw. I don't really care about getting illegal ammo. Honestly, Darkstone bullets are pretty much better. So the Smuggler's Den would pretty much be only to see what's there for the black market goods. I think we've already up everything at the Indian Trading Post that is at all usable by anybody. We don't need to see the shaman. Yeah, they're pretty much melee unless we have somebody who's tribal or scout, which is not that useful. I don't think anybody has tribal or scout. Pete is frontier showman. Doc is frontier and medical, and performer showman. So yeah, there's no tribal or scout. And other thing, the glyphs are not a big issue for upgrades. So I don't think we need anything at the Indian Trading Post. We don't need a cleansing. The Sheriff's Office, can we get anything? We could get the bounty. Not that, it's not that exciting to get the bounty. Any clothing or equipment? Could get the Black Duster. Again, some of these things are weight, which is alright for Pete, I think. But the Duelist Gun Belt, when dual wielding, each gun gets +1 shot. That is 5,800. I mean, it would be better if he could dual wield, or if we could, critical. But an extra shot, that would make Pete, and that would make the Trench Pistol a little bit better, because it's an extra shot for +1 damage. And then if we upgrade it, I don't even know if we necessarily even want to upgrade it. Do we have 5,800? I don't think we do. That might be what we want to save our money for. It's either that, or do we get rid of Bechamel's shotgun and pick up a different gun? Well, can we get anything interesting at the Mutant Quarter? No. Not really. I mean, they get a couple melee weapons and then 3-handed guns and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think there's any better guns for sale for us. Unless Bechamel wants to consider picking up 2 Gambler's guns. Range 7, 3 shots. But there's that said, where is that? Is that on the general store? Is the Gunfighter's Pistol, which is range 7, 3 shots with 1 upgrade slot. But the Gambler's Gun also lets her once per turn at a d6 minus 3 to a single hit. The downside is, I really like the d8 to hit, because if she hits on a 6 or higher, she does an extra point of damage. So conceivably, if we could get pistols that deal a roll a D8 to hit. I don't think there are any you can just buy, though. I don't recall seeing any, certainly where we are. Just shotguns. Admittedly, so there is the executioner's shotgun at the sheriff's office. If we get rid of the breaching gun, it's only range 3, but honestly, how often do we actually shoot at long ranges? Range 3 shots, uses the D8 to hit, but it only uses the D6 for damage. Well, that kind of sucks. It is 3 dice. Doesn't have any open slots. That's probably just not worth it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. I mean, it might be nice. I am kind of liking the 2 gamblers' guns, though. But, let me think about it for a moment. So, right now, as it stands, we have right around 5,600. We have around 4,700. If Bechamel sells the breaching gun, that would be 5,400, right? I don't know, because it's worth 750. I don't know. I mean, if we're looking at picking up the duelist gun belt, we're 1,000. We're 1,000 down. More than that. 1,400 down. Can we get that between selling the Darkstone and Bechamel? Bechamel gambling. That might be worth trying. And then we'll get that will I think will make Pete pretty solid. And of course, at some other time, he can always get rid of the Trident pistol and trade it for something else. Right? You can always pick up another gunfighter, buy a gunfighter's pistol or something. So, for 3 dice, he just loses that +1 damage. So I think let's go with that. And then we'll consider Bechamel, especially since I haven't run into the sheriff's office too often. So I think I'm going to try to do that. Bechamel's going to the saloon. Now, the question is, can anybody get rid of the corruption? I don't think we have anybody who can get rid of the corruption unless we go to the campsite. And the campsite has the church tent. No, actually, that doesn't get rid of any of it. That's just madness or curses. Yeah, because it was the doctor and the church that can get rid of, attempted to get rid of corruption. So we have no way to get rid of corruption. So what do we do? Let's do this. So I'm going to give Doc 2 Darkstone and 400. He needs 400 gold. And then Bechamel is going to take 150 for gambling. And then Pete's going to take the rest of it. And he's going to take all the Darkstone, except for those 2, and he's going to sell it all. And I haven't calculated quite yet how much that is, but it's 50 each. So that's going to be a fair amount, right? So let's see what happens. So Pete's going to go to the blacksmith. Doc was going to where did I say he was going to go? Oh no, Doc was going to go to the blacksmith. Pete is going to the gambling hall to sell the Darkstone. That's the plan. Let's see if we can get the 5,800 for going to the sheriff's office next tomorrow, right? So let's start with Bechamel at the saloon. Let's see what happens. So she gets an 8, so it's a tall tale. She gets to make a lore 5+ test and gains 10 experience for every 5+ rolled. So her lore is 3. Oh, sorry. So she gets 2 successes. And actually, if she rolls a 6, she can actually change another one to a 6 because of her skill. So she has 3 successes, which is going to give her 30 more experience. That's not bad. And then she's going to spend 50 and then play poker. So that is a cunning test. That's going to be 6 dice. Cunning 5+. She gets $50 for every 5+ rolled to cover back. Alright, so she automatically gets to increase one of these to a 6. So she's got 2, or she's got 3 successes. So she's going to go ahead and spend her grit to re-roll. Actually, does she spend the grit to re-roll those? No, because I think we want to save her grit for the big, for the Brimstone craps. So she gets basically an extra $100 for that. Nice. And then she will spend those $100 for the Brimstone craps. So that's a luck 5+ test. So she's got 5 luck. That is correct. Ooh, that is pretty bad. So she will go ahead and spend a grit to re-roll those. So she gets 2, and then she gets to change one to a 6. And that gives her 3. Alright, so she gains another $200. Okay, which, is helpful. Anyway. What else can we do? Does she want to do anything else there? I mean, she could get some lucky dice. Again, that's another weight, though. And I don't think she wants to deal with being at max weight. And she doesn't want to get rid of anything that has weight. She's already got the lucky hat. She's got the Jack of Hearts. She's got the telescope's pretty nice. So we'll go with that. That's a little bit of extra money anyway, right? So let's see what, and that is her day spent at the saloon. Oh, and she gets, sorry, you know what? I forgot. She also gets an extra D6 times 50 each time each time that she gambles. So 2d6 times 50. So 5. She gets an extra 250. Alright, so Doc. So Doc is at the blacksmith. Let's see what happens at the blacksmith. Again, all we're doing right now at the blacksmith is Doc's going to go get some Darkstone bullets for the people. He gets an 8 as well, so nothing happens at the blacksmith. No event. And so he will simply pay the 2 Darkstone and 400 for the Darkstone bullets. Bam. Alright. Now I just need to make sure I remember next mission to use the Darkstone bullets. Because I am notoriously bad when I'm making these videos of forgetting things like the Darkstone bullets. Unfortunately, not nearly as bad. I mean, I'm much better when I'm playing in person, and I've got that card specifically for my hero, my one hero, as opposed to keeping track of 3 and all of their cards, because they certainly have a lot of cards at this point. All right, and then last but not least for the day is the gambling hall with Pete. I'm going to move Doc back to the hotel. And Pete gets a 7, which is, again, nothing, no event. There's laughter, there's cheers, there's sadness, everybody's drunk and sighing. Oh, and Bechamel, was going to buy some whiskey While she was at the saloon. I should double check that. So it is 50 for whiskey. She's going to spend basically 100 and buy 2 whiskeys. So just in case we have an issue. All right, and now that I think about it, as I'm kind of looking through these, I completely missed that the street market has selling Darkstone in the back alley for Paradise times 20 each. So that's going to be a minimum of 60 each to 120, as opposed to the 50 each for the gambling hall. So going to the gambling hall was a bad decision, and I might have considered changing that. It is a co-op game, and it's not like he really did anything. There was no, his event was nothing. But I'm gonna play it a little strict right now, and we'll say no, he didn't. So the question is, if we're thinking of staying one more day, and we're trying to spend money to get that, anyway, actually does mean we would spend 2 days. Right, because we'd have to sell tomorrow, and then the third day go to the sheriff's office and buy. But I think, given we're a little bit behind, I think we kind of need that extra money that we would get for going to the street market. So that was my bad. Pete, he doesn't have the luck to go doing craps or anything. There's nothing worthwhile he wants to buy. We already picked up the whiskey. So Pete basically did nothing. Going to the gambling hall was just a bad idea. And was a mistake. Alright, so let's see if there is a town event. Oops, in the box. Haha. Thank you, there we go. Nothing. Alright, so it is day 2. We pay our $10. Oh, and I forgot the card for the daily event. So let's see what the daily event is today. We'll just kind of ignore yesterday's. It is just another day on the frontier. No effect, but it is not a specialty town. So there's no effect for today. Anyway. Alright. So at this point, honestly, I don't know if Bechamel and Doc need to stick around. I don't think there's anything else we want to pick up. Actually, there is a question: is do any of these places sell bandages? Because we could use some bandages, but I don't think any of these places will let him buy bandages. Not the gambling hall does whiskey. The saloon does whiskey. I don't care about having a cask. The blacksmith doesn't do any. I don't think the mutant quarter lets you buy any. The mutant quarter does. Mutant quarter lets us buy with a limit of 2 per visit. So you know what? We're gonna take, and they are expensive. They're $40 each. But I think we're gonna do that. So that's $80, so that's $160. So Bechamel and Doc are going to go to the mutant quarter. Each go to the mutant quarter to buy 2 bandages each. Again, we want lots of bandages for Doc to use to heal everybody. So there is that. And then Pete is going to the street market to sell the Darkstone. That is the plan. That is what we're going to do. So let's say mutant quarter for Bechamel. She has a 7, so no event, rickety buildings and deformities. All right, and she will pay her 80 to pick up 2 bandages. All right, and then Doc. See if he has an event in the box. He has an 11, preaching the faith. Until the next adventure, you gain Spirit Armor 5+ and are immune to corruption hits. Until the end of the next adventure. We'll see if I remember that. That was preaching the faith. And you guys can read that. I'm not going to necessarily read that to you, but it's a deeply mutated preacher standing atop a crate is shouting stuff. He bestows a blessing, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's happy. So until the end of the next adventure, he gains Spirit Armor 5+, which he already has, and he's immune to corruption hits and corruption points. So that's the part I will need to remember. And again, then he will also spend his $80 to pick up 2 more bandages. And that way, we'll be so full on bandages. So full. Alright. So they're both done. Day 2. Pete, let's see what happens at the street market. Is an 8. An 8 does nothing. Hogs and horse thieves, no event. So that's been pretty quiet so far. All right. So now we're going to sell. We're going to sell the Darkstone here. Sell Darkstone shards on the streets for a paradise times 20 each. So it's going to be a minimum of 60 each, and he rolls for each shard individually. All right. So we had 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'm just going to roll these, and then I'll add them up in a minute. So we have 60, 80. Okay. 60, 100, 80, 80. Okay, 60, 80. Okay, 180. All right, 4 more. 60 and 60. Pretty low haul, though. Oh, there's an extra 100. Alright, so let's see how much that was. Alright, that was an extra 1,100 gold. So 1,100 with 4,700 is 58. And that also leaves us with the money that Bechamel won. So, and that's ish. So I had a few extra spares, like 25s and 50s and 10s. I'm using tokens, by the way. So I wasn't counting the petty change. So I think we have enough. And then still have a little bit left over for any other incidentals, which actually I don't think we need, because I think we're just going to move to the next adventure from here. So that's the end of that turn. I think Bechamel and Pete are going to go. We're going to let, or Doc are going to go. We're going to let Pete go ahead and go buy his belt on day 3. Let's see if there is a town event, though. On day 2, there is not. So day 3 breaks. Let us see what we get for the card for the other event. We have wide open skies. So the big blue sky is opened up and the sun is shining across the land. Seems to be a respite from the darkness, at least for the moment. All rolls on location event charts in town today are +1 on the roll, max of 12. Interesting. So let's go. Sheriff's Office. Let's see what we get. He gets a 10. That's +1. That is an 11. It is, we need 6 men. Mount up. We've got a job to do. Every hero at the Sheriff's Office that is not law or holy immediately gains the deputized bonus for free. Then any hero that joins a manhunt today, see the other side, gains double any XP and gold earned. So join a manhunt, limit once per town stay, and it ends the location visit. Make a cunning test to track down the outlaw. If at least 1 6 is rolled, you also track down the outlaw and have a shootout with him and bring him in. and subtract your initiative to find my... I'm not going to worry about that. I think we're good. We're deputized. Deputized simply says he gets +1 cunning and the keyword law until the end of each adventure. Which I'm probably not going to remember to do that. It's not necessarily, unless there's... Is there something... Since he's freely deputized, he can actually, you know, pick up, like, the Peacekeeper's Pistol. Which actually does not... well, it requires law. So once he loses the deputization, which eventually he will, he won't be able to use it anymore. And the same with the badges. You know, Body Hunter's Badge, Deputy Badge, Executioner Badge. So, since you can lose the deputization, and then, you know, there's no guarantee to re-deputize, you get re-deputized, you know, I'm not as into trying to worry about doing that. And it's something else to remember. So, we are simply going to buy this lovely Duelist gun belt for 5,800. When dual wielding, each gun gets +1 shot. So, of course, until I make a card, and I'll have to try to make a card for that, so I don't forget that each gun has +1 shot. So let's pay the 5,800 bucks here. Hold on. All right, and it has been bought. And we have right around between 200 and 300 gold left. And that is, actually I might even have slightly over 300 left. But, again, not looking to buy anything else. So let's see if there's a town event. Oh, sorry, day 3. There is not. So that was pretty quiet. A pretty quiet town stay. There you have it, folks. We've done town. We've gone into town. We've come out all the wiser. Pete's got now 8 dice that he is rolling if he dual wheels, which is pretty awesome. So he is rivaling Doc. So now we just need to worry about getting Bechamel beefed up a bit, I think. Although, again, we come up against one big enemy, you know, certainly the breaching gun with the stun is handy, because that gives them the -1 defense. And the D8 to hit and the D8 damage can do some big hits. It will be worth checking. I am a fan of more dice than the bigger hits, because overall I think with more hits, unless you're facing somebody who's a really high defense, and if you're dual wielding, obviously you can't get criticals. But even with more dice, you know, a single gun rolling 3 dice, if you get a critical hit, you'll ignore the defense anyway. I don't know, but I am a fan of more dice, so I very well might just switch her to dual pistols as well, and go with that. And I do kind of like the idea of those. If we get back to the if we get another street market, is that the street market? No, the gambling hall, and picking up those gambler pistols, and then getting them upgraded. Obviously, we have no Darkstone right now. But if we can pick up 4 Darkstone in the next adventure, and then we come back, we get the gambling hall, it might be worth picking up the two pistols for Bechamel, and gives her 2 dice, or two guns, 7, with 6. Basically, she's rolling 6 dice with the ability once per turn with each gun to add a d6 -3. So it's a chance to do less damage. But still, 2d6 -3 is still pretty good. And she has the ability to use her fortune to re-roll that die, right? Or increase it, as the case may be. So if there's a really bad one that actually goes negative damage, And I kind of like that. I just kind of like the idea. I don't even know if it's super effective to do that, right? To add that extra d6 minus 3. So anywhere from, you know, -2 to 3 points of damage, right? So it's slightly in favor of giving you a +1 damage. So I think that actually is kind of neat, kind of a cool thing to do, and it is once per turn with each gun. So it's not just once per fight. So that is pretty handy. And I think that may be the plan going forward, but I think right now we got Pete in a really good spot. Doc's in a good spot. He's got armor. He's got the additional defense because of his skill now, so he's a little bit more durable. I mean, both Pete and Bechamel could use some armor if it comes about, but it's not. I don't necessarily know that it's a huge deal. We've got enough hit points now with everybody to withstand a little bit, and we have lots of healing with Doc. So enough of me rambling. I apologize, but let's go ahead. I'm still debating on what we're going to do for the next series of missions, which campaign pack we are going to do. We have a number of options, obviously. You know, we could just do some Blasted Wastes. We could do some Derelict Ship. And then, of course, there are the mission packs with the Lost Army, the Vampires, the Werewolves, the Cult. We've got the Cinder stuff. So we've got a variety of things that we still have left to do. But I am still mulling on that. If you have any suggestions or decisions, if you have any ideas, any requests that you want to see, some of those, I will take those into account. So if you want to see Blasted Wastes, you want to see the Vampires, you want to see the Werewolves, let me know. It needs to be I need to kind of know soon, because I don't necessarily have all the models put together. And so if we're going to do Vampires, I need to have my Vampires put together. And that thing. I don't know if I've, depending, I may need some time to get the models together before I run the mission. So if the next couple days, if you want to request that I play a particular mission pack or a particular other world that we haven't seen yet, like the Derelict Ship or the Blasted Wastes, let me know in the comment section. Please, if you liked this, like the video, like the series. If you have an issue and feel like pushing the down thumb, I hope you don't, but if you do, please leave a comment that says, hey, what didn't you like? What can I improve on? If there's a reason that you did not like something about this video, let me know, and I will try to correct that and make it more enjoyable for you. Of course, as always, there's a link in the description to my Patreon page. Please feel free to go there and consider pledging as a patron, and we'll have some exclusive videos and, of course, discussion with me. And of course, you will get preferred status on any requests or voting. You can get characters and weapons named after you. I've got some other games that I might be playing and might be doing some things with as well, and of course patrons will get possibly some first looks at those, or maybe even some exclusives. So check out my Patreon page if you haven't already, or if you're considering pledging. And I appreciate everybody liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel and enjoying and giving the likes and the comments. Thank you all so much for supporting me, and I will see you next week. Take care.